Hey there, good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So it's now September, so we'll be starting another monthly series. I hope everybody enjoyed last month's series. It was kind of fun to put together. This one might be a little bit different. We're not going to be doing any kind of ranking thing, so everything that's going to come up is just going to be random. I've picked basically about 30 to 40 bands that, for whatever reason, I never quite followed them. I never, I may have listened to them. I may even had an album or two by them, but for some reason, I just never quite got into them. And I'm going to try to explore why that is with these bands as I go along. Hopefully, I'll find a few of them will end up being bands that I do explore. That's part of the reason why we do this whole thing, is so that each of us learns something about a band that maybe was blocked from our listening to pleasure, and for whatever reason we didn't really want to listen to them. But if we can break some of those little things down or find out what it is, maybe we just get another new band to listen to. So what I'm going to do is just randomly I'm going to pick out the bands as I go through based on how I feel that given day, and we'll talk about them. They're not going to be in any particular order. I do have about 40 of them, so there'll be about 30, and whatever's left I'll just mention as honorable mentions at the end. So the title of this series will be The Bands That I Have Yet to Follow. And these may be bands that I have a little bit of a following with, but the point about all of this is that most of these bands, in fact, all of these bands I like. These aren't bands I don't like and I don't want to follow them because I hate them or anything like that. These are just bands for whatever reason I go to the record store with enough money to buy 3 albums. I look at 10 or 15 albums, and oftentimes I look at these bands' albums and I just put them aside because the other albums interest me more, and that happens quite frequently, more than I can possibly describe in one show. So today we're going to start with the first band of this kind. This is a band that actually been around for me probably since the beginning of my time when I was exploring the rock universe from 78 to 82. They were a band that I started listening to. They're a band who I listened to. I wasn't following them. I didn't own any of their albums. In fact, for a while, I didn't even know it was them singing the couple of tracks that I liked. And we all know the main track here, which is Play That Funky Music, White Boy, or just Play That Funky Music. And, of course, the band is Wild Cherry. Now, Wild Cherry is I guess you would say that they're kind of a funk rock band, or maybe a disco band, or even some dance, like a dance band. Although I think the song that I liked anyways, Play That Funky Music, was more of a rock number than it was a disco number or anything like that. Maybe they became a little bit more like that later. I'm not really sure because I didn't follow them. So they've got some solid music. I don't think they're bad at all. I've heard a couple other stuff by them, but I don't know it off by heart. That's the only song that I followed, that I knew and became familiar with. And you would think with a strong song like that, which it was, that it would lead me to want to follow them more. But there was that disco kind of element to some of their music that was a no-no for me when I was in my teens. I did not want to be associated with that at all. Not even want to think about it. And so actually when Kiss came out with their Dynasty album, I was not telling people I liked it. Yeah, that's just the way it was when I was a kid. You know how kids are, very influenced by popularity, very influenced by what other people like, oftentimes making rash judgments based on one or two things that may be outliers with the band. In the case of Wild Cherry, this actually might be a bit of an outlier, this song, Play That Funky Music, White Boy. So I just didn't I didn't pursue this band. I still really haven't pursued this band, although today when I was getting this, well, not today, but yesterday when I was getting a feel for this band, checking out some of their stuff, I was surprised to find that they actually only had 4 studio albums, and they were all released in the early to mid 70s, and then that was pretty much it. It's kind of surprised me, and I didn't recognize the names of any of the members in the band as being, well, there was one guy, I think, and now I can't remember his name, but I did see his name and remembered seeing it somewhere else before. But other than that, I just didn't know very much about the band and never really explored them. So today's band that we talk a little bit about is Wild Cherry. This is a band probably mid-70s, early mid-70s. So they're one of the 30 bands that we're doing that I never quite got into. And we'll continue this series throughout the month. This is the first day, so tomorrow will be day 2. I have another band in mind that not too dissimilar from what we just talked about today. So I hope you have enjoyed this first episode, and we will be back tomorrow with the second episode. Please hit the like, subscribe, and put your comments below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and we will see you then. And hopefully this will develop a little bit more as we go along and try to pick some bands I know a little bit more about. That's going to be the biggest issue because, as you know, because I haven't followed these bands, I don't know as much about them as maybe I should. Okay, so take care and have a good day. Goodbye.